back to the channel. I'm J and we're locked in. This is the recap for episode 7 of Raising Kanan. Now, you know we work a little bit harder over here. This is actually Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. when we're recording this because there was a leak of the episode and I got my hands on it. There are still some questions that need to be answered. Raquel and Cartier, Raquel and the mob, Raquel and Unique. Also, what is Lulu going to do moving forward with Bulletproof Records after he took out Crown in Ziza's scene? Is that going to make things worse for the whole organization? Well, before we jump into this and break it down, if you like power content, live after show discussions, breakdowns, exclusive clips, then hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Make sure you hit that like button and follow me on Instagram, MOEDOTJ. Now, Jukebox, she doesn't know what she wants to do. Does she want to be with her mom? That means going to church and dealing with things that gotta go that way, or is she still gonna be on her own? Well, let's go ahead and jump into it. This is episode 7, a recap of Raising Kanan, book 3.
You the heir to this throne, Kanan, and it's waiting for you if you want it.
We start the episode off with Jukebox at Nicole's grave site. We know Nicole was the only person that was making Laverne happy in this whole series. Now, while she's there, a cab pulls up and out jumps James Bingham. Now, this is Nicole's dad. The mom isn't there. We know the mom doesn't like Jukebox. The mom doesn't like Shannon Burt. So he's like, whoa, it's just me. I come here every day to talk to my daughter. I'll get out the way and let you have some time with her. She's like, oh, no, you can stay. And what James is saying is, I don't care what you and my daughter had going on. You were the one person that made my daughter happy. She loved you. And for that, Juke, anything you need in life, you can come and talk to me. So Laverne is listening to this. She's like, man, someone actually cares about me. He was happy that his daughter was happy because of me. Now, one thing he does ask is, where's that tape that you and Nicole had? And she's like, I don't know. Because you remember, she's the one that actually took the tape. But as of right now, he's there for Laverne. Lulu strangled Crown. It ain't no coming back. Ziza came in and seen, and she asked, what are we gonna do with that body? So automatically we assume she's his ride or die. They're about to get close. And of course, this episode we see that they doing their thing in Bulletproof Records. Crown is gone, but Lulu's head, he isn't in the game. Literally, he's thinking, when is this radio jockey gonna play our song? And Ziza says, stop listening to the radio. You supposed to be doing me. And Lulu, he ain't trying to hear that. He's always business first. While Lulu is supposed to be getting this freak on, 2 gentlemen come in and they have a heavy accent sounding like they from the islands. And they're looking for Crown. Crown is dead. Lulu says he ain't here, but this is half my building. Well, they say, look, Linton Manley is looking for him and Crown owes us $50,000. And since you share this building with him, you owe us $50,000. His business is your business since y'all partners, and we are no one to play with. So Lulu is getting caught off guard by 2 gentlemen, and we already knew that Crown was in debt. So now his debt, it all piled up on Lulu. They told him that Crown put up the whole music studio for collateral. So now that $50,000 has to be paid or the studio is taken. And Ziza's talking about, oh, don't worry about that. You should be finishing with me. Did you just not hear them come in and tell me I owe $50,000 and Crown is gone and we just took care of that? Girl, you better get on somewhere. We see Kanan at home playing the Sega Genesis. He's playing Road Rash, one of my favorite games growing up. But when he's sitting there, he looks down at his backpack. And when he goes in that backpack, he pulls out that gun that Parliament gave him. He's like, wait a minute. And then he pulls out an envelope. He's looking around. He's like, man, I can't have this just sitting at the house. I might need to get rid of this. And why did Parliament give me this in the first place? But I sure did need it when I went over there and whooped on Frederick. Damn, tough decisions as a kid. Marvin and Marco have this sit down. We all been speculating on these 2 potentially working together, and exactly what we were asking for happened. Marvin is meeting with Marco and telling him, listen, I have a problem, a rap problem I might need you to take care of. You guys remember Tony? She lives in a rich white neighborhood, and he's telling Marco, $5,000. You go take care of that, and then we'll worry about you getting some work from us so you can have some behind your dad's back. Now, Marco was saying, if I do this, I don't want my dad to know about it because this is business he's trying to do on the low, get some money on the side, and then also get some work from Marvin because his dad controls everything in Jersey. So he agrees $5,000 to get rid of Tony. Raquel and Cartier, they getting closer and closer. She's learning the game. You remember, in the art gallery, Even if the pictures don't make money, we still get the clean money. Now, while they're out eating, this guy named Tremont Stentz walks up. Now, he from down south, you know what I'm saying? When I say down south, I mean around, Virginia, DC, Maryland. He all around in those areas. Now, we know that Cartier says he takes all the work and he goes down south. This is one of his people. Now, they're having a conversation. They're going back and forth, joking about a little bit of money, talking about, I make money, I do this. This is my restaurant. And Cartier's like, nah. Don't we got business a little bit later on? Of course, this back and forth gets a little bit serious. And you hear Cartier tell him, you making too much money because of me. I might have to scale you down a little bit. And he tells him to get on. Now, Rock is listening. And he's like, this is my distro from down there in DC and all that. You know what I'm saying? But Rock, she has a plan. And you can hear her say, well, you the boss, then you need to let him know that. Because it sounds like insubordination is, it's just freely around your organization. They don't have no respect for you. You better handle that. So this kind of got Cartier thinking, she right. I was talking that talk. So I got to make sure I do what I need to do. Kanan got that little revolver. He goes back to Palmer's house. And he's like, thank you for this. I did what I needed, but it's your gun. It's back. She's talking about, Kanan, I'm glad you came. I'm glad that gun protects you. So Kanan's looking at it like, what the hell's going on? Plus, she got some lingerie on. And every time he look away and does something, gets the gun out the bag, she's removing a layer. He's like, thank you for the gun, but I gotta go. She goes in for the kiss on Kanan, and Kanan, he's just a boy. He don't know what's going on. He's like, what are you doing? I'm with Corinne, your daughter. She's like, oh, don't worry about that. Then she goes into the kiss again, and Kanan, he gives in, man. He's just a boy. He don't know what's going on here. Got this attractive woman on him. He don't know what's going on. This ain't right. But she taking advantage of young Kanan, and she said, I felt like I was responsible for you, Kanan. And this is what she do. Kanan's getting it on with his girlfriend's mom while Jukebox is in church, and they talk about, you should not be having sex with your brother's wife. You should not be having same sex. All of these things you need to get rid of. And Jukebox is looking around. She don't really want to be there, but she wants to be around Kenya and impress her. So everything that this gentleman is saying, Jukebox, she's living that, and she doesn't feel comfortable here. Whole time, the little boy up front, the one that was trying to get at her when they was in the pews, he looking at her like, yeah. Y'all know how church is, though, and that's just how church goes. But Jukebox, she doesn't feel comfortable now with what this man is telling her. Marvin is headed to the spot because he got a call. The junkies are all upstairs. Marvin is upset because he just got a call, came over here. This ain't where he's supposed to be. And when he gets in there, it's Lulu with a bag, and he's taking money. And all the workers are saying, Marvin, we need that money. We all know that Rock counts every single dollar, and they're not going to have a count with Lulu taking it. Now, Marvin knows whatever Lulu's doing, he needs his money. That's why he asked him, how much money are you taking? Because it needs to be taken care of. Lulu said, don't worry about it. I got it in my head. So Lulu's going to be trying to replace his money because we heard earlier he owes $50,000. So Marvin, he's looking at it confused. The workers, they're upset because they'll get in trouble for this. Lulu won't. It's all kinds of confusion going on right now. But that money, when it hits, it's supposed to move from the trap to the stash, not from the trap to Lulu's pockets. After all of that, it's over with. Juke goes outside, and this young man, he's very persistent. We know what Jukebox look like, and right now we're looking at Laverne. He's like, man, when you gonna give me them digits? They joking around about what they heard. She's like, I don't know. And over her shoulder, she's looking at her mom, Kenya, and she's more feminine when she's around her mother. You seen her friends when they ran up on Juke when she was out with her mom. They're like, oh, Juke, you look different now. So she ends up giving this young man her number. Kenya is smiling because she sees, oh, my daughter, she's talking to boys. And you can tell that Laverne kind of likes him. He cool. Detective Malcolm Howard, he finally shows back up to work. We all know he's the 117th Precinct Miracle. And when he gets in there, you remember our boy Scrappy, R.I.P.? Well, his mom's in there and she's complaining. It turns out she was the criminal informant. She was the one telling. She holds card games at her house and she lets the police know. So Malcolm Howard is saying, I thought it was her son. It's like, nah, it was her. And she's not believing that her son died on some accident. You remember Raquel put that thing right to the side of his head. Rockabye, baby. So now Detective Malcolm is realizing that he made a mistake telling Raquel that Scrappy was the snitch. In reality, it was his mom, just like we all expected. Marvin shows up to Rock's spot because he has to let her know, hey, Lulu done took some money. But when he gets in there, you see our girl Laverne, she got that Campbell's soup on the stove. Now she probably making a grilled cheese with tomato soup, but who knows. Marvin is asking how you been. She's like, all right. Then he also asks, when were you gonna tell me about your mother? Because we seen him interact with Kenya and he told her to leave. And he's telling Juke, she left us. She's always been for herself. She's not a good mother. And Juke is saying, you think you've been better? Marvin admits that he messed up. He's still trying to get in Jukebox's life, but he's telling her Kenya is not good for her and she needs to leave her alone. If Marvin tells somebody to leave, they're really messing up. And it does appear that Kenya was on her own and for herself because she's been back for 3 years and never reached out. But Marvin leaves. At least he had a conversation with Juke. Tremont, aka Mr. DMV, aka the Distro, he's walking out the hotel after a meeting that he had with Cartier, but only he has glasses on in the middle of the night. Now it appears that his face is bruised up because you remember Raquel told Cartier, you need to handle that. Insubordination should not be tolerated. Now what she's telling this man is, look, I know you got Cartier problems right now, so that work, I can get it to you for a lower price with less stress. And he's like, I don't know you. We just met a couple of hours ago. He just got his ass whooped. So of course he's going to be iffy on working with her. And she's saying, well, soon enough, you'll want to work with me because dealing with Cartier, her plan was to get these two to get into it. And now she can expand. Not only does she have Jersey, which is under control of the mob, she'll have down south, where she'll control all of it on her own. Symphony meets up with Kanan. They having some pizza. We always knew that Symphony was trying to be good, be that mentor, role model that Kanan needed. Now he did drive Kanan down to Virginia, and right now he's telling Kanan, I want you to do more. There's more out here than what, saying you got going on. Are your grades good? And Kanan's like, they all right. Well, Symphony is about to leave, and the last time we seen him, he told Raquel that I don't want anything to do with us no more in North Carolina. And Kanan is saying, well, you haven't been hanging with my mom. Why don't you tell her, since y'all just friends, in your words, that you're leaving? That's because Symphony doesn't want to deal with her. He knows he might get drawn back in. So he tells Kanan, because he also has love for Kanan also. And Kanan's like, dang, Symphony, you're leaving. This is the one positive person he had in his life. And Symphony's leaving. That's because he's smart to know that he needs to get away from all of this nonsense. And guess who was outside watching this whole thing? Detective Shannon Burke. She's been following Kanan Stark, and now she just seen an adult male talking to young Kanan Stark. Let me call this in. What's his license plate number? Burke is working overtime, people. Rock finally closed on the house, sold off the market, but a realtor is informing her that the homeowners association, they need more proof about your income. Now she's paying cash for the house, but the reason they want to know that her income is good is because if anything pops up, the homeowners association is the people that make sure that the whole community is up to a certain upkeep. You know what I'm saying? If something pops up, we all need to have sprinklers. They want to make sure that you can afford that. So Rock tells them, don't worry about my money. I own a music company. I have my own label. She's about to use Bulletproof Records to prove that she has income. Burke called in Symphony's place and then she pulled him over. Now she's asking for his license and registration, and he does everything correctly. Hands on the steering wheel. He lets her know, license in my pocket, registration, glove department. Can I get it? She says yes. But then she starts asking questions. You were pulled over for a cop shooting sometime a couple of months ago. Why were you here? He's like, man, really? Everyone got stopped there. So now she gets straight into business. How do you know Kanan Stark? And he says he was a kid at one of my programs. She's like, he's only in high school, or was after school program. So now Symphony is getting curious on, how do you know this much about Kanan? And Burke, she says, what about his father? Do you know his father? Symphony says, I ain't answering no more of this. And Burke, she has to walk off because she pulled him over for nothing. But now it got him thinking. At the beginning of the episode, James Bingham, Nicole's father, asked Juke, do you remember what happened to that tape of you and Nicole? She's like, nah, she don't know what happened to it. Well, she has the cassette, the VHS, and she's taking it to actually get it fixed. Because now it got her thinking about it. Maybe I might want to watch it one more time. So for $20, she's getting the whole VHS fixed. I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought once a VHS broke, that was the end of it. Unique's in Jersey, living the good life. He don't have to do much, no competition, just sit there and collect. He just called Jersey a vacation, a paid vacation. Worrell shows up, and that's his right hand man. They done moved Worrell out to Jersey, and Unique is telling them, the reason Rock got you out here is because she wants both of her problems in one spot. And he's right about that. Have Worrell with Unique so you know where they are at all times. Now Worrell doesn't know the inner workings of what you got going on at your two bigger operations in the South Side. So Unique is just telling them, hey, you better be aware, because right now, good things don't last forever. While they're talking, Marco pulls up and he lets them know, hey, what y'all know about Marvin? He wants to get the information on him. Is Marvin trustworthy? Will he pay what he owes? Because they got some business. And you hear Unique say, fuck Marvin. But what I can say is, if Marvin owes something, he's going to pay it. So Marco's like, okay, so that business deal that he got, 5 bands, take care of that problem, I might be able to make something happen. Now you hear Unique say when they pull off, Marvin and Marco working together, hide your kids, hide your wife. Meaning these two, they aren't organized. And the only people that know that Marco is about to do this job is Worrell, Unique, Marvin, and Marco. Those are the only 4 people that know what he's about to do. Detective Burke pulled over Symphony. Detective Burke got Kanan Stark's file. Detective Burke wants to know everything that Malcolm is doing. She even questioned the barber that Malcolm was sleeping with. Now, you remember the guy that was giving out the information, and we found out that while Malcolm was working as a police officer, he was undercover. And today we find out that he had a 17-year-old criminal informant. This is all lining up to when Kanan was born. So Burke, she's connecting the dots. And behind him, you hear another police officer. He's sitting back there and he's listening to everything that's going on. He's like, whoa, what is she talking about over here? Raquel has a meeting with Joaquin and his cousin Juliana. Now we know that he is the plug, the connection, the Colombian. Hey, we got that work. Now when they're in here, she's telling them, look, I don't trust Unique. He got Jersey, but I put a plan in place that we might be able to expand down south. Now Joaquin, he's hearing this and he's like, man, I don't really know about Jersey. We don't want to do nothing like that. Juliana doesn't want anything to do with Unique because he's been harassing her while she was at the bodega. But Raquel, once she makes up her mind, this is what she's going to do. And she's just letting the Colombians know, hey, from here on out, we might be expanding a little bit further down south and cutting off the Jersey because that might be a little dangerous with Unique being in charge of that. While they're in there eating, there's a guy up front and he's kind of looking back there but doesn't want to be too suspicious. And when he comes outside, he works for none other than Mr. DMV himself, Trayvon. He's like, man, that lady, she look good. And, you know what I'm saying? She talking to, I don't know what they are, I guess Colombians. So he's trying to figure out what Rock got going on because she wants to work with him. So he's just checking and making sure that everything is everything. Lulu got the money. He heads back to the studio. Unfortunately, Linton's Manly's boys, they are here and they waiting. But this time they serious. They start jumping on him, hitting Lulu with bats. And they let him know that, hey, since Crown ain't here, we don't know where he is, it's on you. And if you don't pay up, then the studios is Linton's. Not yours, no more. So Lulu, he got caught in between all of this nonsense, but he kind of brought it on himself by killing Crown. Marvin's been going to anger management, and guess what? It is graduation day. We finally made it. Now him and George, you remember they were about to get into it. Marvin kind of roasted him, talking about his hair, it ain't coming back. But at least him and George, they grown and they became friends. Now we see Renee creeping up talking about, Marvin, I want to stay in touch with you. She hands him her number. So Marvin's like, oh, I want to be heard. So these two, they might be hooking up, and Renee, as I've been predicting, she might be good for Marvin. Symphony shows up to talk to Rock. Now Kanan's been telling them, if you and my mom are friends, you should be the one telling her that you're leaving. But also on top of that, Detective Burke has been harassing him. So he goes over and he lets her know, hey, I'm leaving. I got a job, North Carolina, about to make it happen. Rock doesn't want him to leave. And you could tell that these two are still attracted to each other, but he brings up Detective Burke. She's like, what did you tell her? He said, nah, I ain't tell her nothing. Your secrets are safe with me. She's like, I ain't got no secrets. But he knows that she does because the night that's in question is the night that he took Kanan down to Virginia. So Symphony, he's smart making the decision to get away from Raquel. But Rock feels a certain way looking at him thinking, this man might tell something if he's getting questioned by the police. Kanan went to Palmer's house to drop off the pistol. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. Well, that led to them going into the bedroom and they've been laid up all day. Well, guess what? Kareen comes home. She's like, Ma, how long is this milk? Wait a minute. Why are you in the bed with Kanan? Kanan is her boyfriend. You remember that? You hear Palmer talking about, oh, girls go through this all the time. Kareen runs up out of here. She's upset. Kanan, he done got caught off guard. Like, Palmer, what are you doing? This ain't how it's supposed to be. She gets to kissing this young man. He done got called up by a cougar. She talking about, I don't look that old. I have a young spirit. No, you old. Kanan is a kid. This should not be happening. Lulu needs some help because Linton's people, they ain't playing around. So he goes to Cartier, the guy that gave him the soundboard. Now Cartier is saying, I can help you with this, but since Crown is gone, what happens to his piece of the pie? Lulu is like, oh, it come all back to me. He says, well, I want 50% of his 50%. Basically saying Cartier wants 25% of everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm the 25% owner, you 75, because my protection ain't cheap. Cartier can get things done in these streets, and I'm sure he knows exactly who Manly is. And Lulu's hearing this, and he needs that help, because right now it was 3-on-1. Marco is putting the plan together, and guess who he goes and gets? Dominic. Yeah, the guy that was in Catskills trying to get Kanan. And Marco was telling him, don't mess this up and don't tell my father. Dominic is saying, nah, I'm better now. Everything I learned at the Catskills, ooh, I'm ready to go. Let me in there. But Marco doesn't want his dad to know that he's going behind his back to make some money to potentially get a connection from Marvin and get some dope on his own. Juke and her little crush, they walking back from the movies. You know what I'm saying? Because he just wanted them digits so they can go out and hang out. Now, we could tell that they both feeling each other a little bit. It's been a while since Juke been into boys, but she still has this connection. She says he's cool. He says she's cool. He's like, let's do it again. Then he goes in, he gets that kiss. Juke is like, this ain't that bad. So he might have something. But is Juke going to push away from this young man? Because she doesn't, 2 or 3 seconds is as much as she's kissing. After that, Juke said, nah. What we got going on? Tony's inside the house doing her thing with her new fiance, Marco and Dominic. They come in, they take out Nicole. Now, her fiance, he ain't putting up with that. He starts fighting back. They get to tussling. Marco's telling Dominic, shoot him. Dominic shoots the wrong person and he kills Marco. And on the way out, he gets shot in the back and in the side a little bit. It's like, damn, Tony dead, Marco on the floor, Dominic got shot. And guess what? Her fiance survived. Information is spreading fast in the South Side. Rock meets up with Malcolm. You need to get on your girl Bert. She's asking Symphony questions about Kanan and his dad. He's like, man, she can't handle all that. Because there's a lot to process for Shannon Burt. He doesn't think that she's capable. But we see behind the scenes, she's doing everything. And he's just like, man, make sure your boyfriend Symphony ain't doing no talking. But real quick, that one-eyed kid, he wasn't a snitch. It was his mama. My bad, mistake. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to make that mistake because it's hard out here to get all the correct information. She's like, man, you can't be out here doing that because she knows she messed up now. They killed Scrappy for no reason. And Marvin and Lulu both told Rock, don't do that. Don't do that. So now she's in a position that she might need to cover her tracks. Shannon is at the house. This is beyond overtime here. All of the files are on the table. Her and Adina, they've been getting closer and we've seen that they stayed the night with each other. And she's trying to piece things together. And she's telling Adina, all right, listen. Malcolm was undercover. Rock was his criminal informant at the age of 17. Kanan was born around that time. Kanan might be Malcolm's son. I'm not too sure. And Adina's like, you're not doing police work. You're supposed to be investigating the shooting, but you're investigating your partner, a cop. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. Jukebox got that VHS fixed, and she took it over to James Bingham's house and put it on the doorstep. Now, when she leaves, Malcolm walks right by her, but she has a hoodie and a hat on, so nobody notices her in the area, especially if Nicole's mom is there, even though James said they're getting a divorce. But Detective Howard, he goes over to talk to James. He's like, hey, I need to talk to you about Shannon Burke, because she's asking all kinds of questions. And of course, she was into it with these two at the precinct when Nicole's mom was trying to figure out what exactly happened. We got Ziza in the studio. She laying a track. Cartier, he got 25% of Bulletproof Records. He jamming out. Lulu didn't want to have anybody in on this. I got rid of Crown so I could run it. Cartier in the studio. That is his soundboard now. But this is the cost of business, Lulu. Marvin thought he had a rap problem. Well, Tony's fiance saying, why would anything happen to her? She's not that type of girl. The police are gonna be involved. We got a mobster down. Man, it's about to get crazy. Dominic, he ain't make it back either. Marco dead. That's 2 mobsters in one night. Yeah, Sal, he's gonna have an issue with this, because who knows about Marco going over there. Unique and Warrell. Symphony got a job in North Carolina. He's packing up to leave. We see Raquel in all black. She hit the light, she pick up the gun. It look like she about to shoot our dog Symphony. She's about to cover her tracks because Detective Burke's been asking Symphony about Kanan's father. But she drives by and she doesn't shoot him. That's because she has feelings for Symphony. But he looks and he kind of recognizes that car, even though it's got the lights off. So I know in the back of his mind, I made the right decision to get the hell up out of here. All right, let me know what you think about episode 7 and how is the mob going to react to Sal Bosolini's son, Marco, getting killed. And it was because Marvin is the one that said, hey, I got 5,000 for you. Let me know what you think about that. I'm Mo.J. Make sure you tune in Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern for the live after show discussion of episode 7. If you like power content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.